What's good, YouTube family? Thank y'all for tuning back into another video. So to start this cutout, I'm gonna be doing a mid-ball fade. So I'm gonna comb everything down as you saw, and then I'm gonna set this guideline in from the bottom of his vertical bar, and I'm just gonna take it even all the way around the head. I don't even drop it in the back. I just keep it even all the way around his head. He always comes in and says he wants a ball fade. The first time I cut him, I think I gave him kind of a drop, like a stretched out drop fade. Then the last two times I cut him, well, maybe three now, I gave him just a ball fade, a mid ball fade, and I started the same way I just started this, and I'm just bought it out. So y'all, if y'all already subscribed, I appreciate y'all. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and smash that subscribe button, become a part of the family member, join me on my road to 10K. Then we gonna wait farther past that. I just got that goal for now. It's just a small goal. So man, I know I'm about to get my first 1,000. I see the growth in the channel. I see the views going up, so it just feels good. And to the people who've been asking questions, I've been seeing comments. Some people have been leaving weird comments about, like, they'll put a time or a number. I don't know what that's about. But to the people who are asking comments, I appreciate y'all, because I love helping. I enjoy helping. I love using my gifts to help people get better with their gifts. So, and to get better at something they're passionate about. So just like I said, I see the growth in the channel, all the power going on, and praise be to God. Glory to Jesus. Without Jesus, I'm nothing. So yeah, and I just want to continue to grow. I want to continue to elevate my platform so I can glorify God, and so that I can use my gifts and abilities to help others to grow. And so yeah, just go ahead. So with that being said, leave me a like and a comment and subscribe, and let's tap back into this video. Let's lock in and focus. So y'all see what I'm doing. Just pay attention to what I'm doing with my clipper. This is a number 2 guard. So I got the blade open, and I go up into the curls, and I don't cut into the curls. Actually, I just go up and I flick out, and then I come down with the grain. Y'all see how I was doing it. Now to begin my fading process, to establish my first guideline, I'm gonna have my blade open, and I'm gonna be flicking out. And then after I flick out, I'm gonna set the blade flat. Then after I set the blade flat, that's when I'm gonna go open, halfway, and close on my clipper. And what I do is I take this all the way around the head first before I begin to work the line out, just so I know that the guideline is even. Make sure that your guidelines are even. Make sure that when you ball out, it's even all the way around their head. It's on the same part, on the same, like on both sides, it's on the same part. And then make sure that every guideline that you set in is the same width, and that's just gonna give you the best fade, the most consistent fade as you can get. It's gonna give you the most consistent fade possible. And this side I'm just showing just so you can kind of see my angles, and so you can see what I do. You can see the lever on my blade and how far up and down I'm going on the fade as I open and close my lever. So just pay attention to that, because that's the only reason I'm really showing this side. Then just apply what you just saw and apply that to the rest of the head, because I'm just gonna be going open, halfway, and close. And then sometime I'll use the corner of my blade, like you can see when I turn my clipper and just use the corner of my blade and do detail work. So I'm just gonna take it from one side to the other. For most of the time, I'll work from the front to like behind the ear, and then behind the ear to the back, and then I'll go to the front of the other side and do the same thing. But on kids, man, they get to moving around. You see how they lay their heads. But this is my guy. This is my little homie. Don't get me wrong. I just cut him yesterday. We had a good conversation. I told him that's the only reason I'm really doing this video right now, so I could drop it for him. I know he said he was finna tune in, and he was excited about it. So, but yeah, kids be squirming sometimes and stuff. So it's just the faster that you can get it done, but also the best fade, the best cut still. The best lineup, the best overall cut still. The faster you can get it done, most likely gonna be the best for you. Just So I'm just doing the same thing, open, halfway, and close.
No meat, just out.
Right here, I'm just gonna be doing the same thing, but this is a number 1.5 guard. So I'm gonna take this 1.5 guard, and I have my blade open, I believe, and then I'm gonna close it and just be going down and just taking the hairs just off I'm gonna keep it straight up off the top of his head. I'm just taking this guard and just going down, just cutting the hairs that I'm gonna be fading. I'm not cutting into the curls on the side of his head, just the hairs that I know are gonna be getting cut. And I'm just softening it up. I'm just softening it up to get this blend into the top. I call it fade what you do with the clipper. You fade with the clipper, you know what I'm saying, from the fade. I call what you do from the fade to the top the blend. Like that in between section of the fade and the top is the blend to me. So this is just gonna, that technique I was just showing you is just gonna make the blend better. It's gonna make the transition of the blend more smooth. So right here, after I do all that, I had went with the blade open and the blade closed, and now I'm gonna be doing the same thing, just the opposite. Instead of going down, now I'm going against it. I'm going against the grain now. I was going with the grain, now I'm gonna do the same thing, but just against the grain, and I'm gonna stop right at where I left off. And I'm just preparing this and giving myself room. So I come up with this number 1 guard, and I can really just get this fade pulling together. So right here, I got the number 1 guard on, and I'm just going right up under where I left off with that, and then I'm just gonna be open halfway and closed, and every time I close my clipper a little bit, I move down on the fade, and then I'm gonna go down to the bottom line. This isn't gonna take the bottom line out, so that's when I'm gonna have to come in with my 1.5 guard and do detail work. So right now, once again, just to make it clear, right now I had the 1.5 guard, and I went all the way to where you see where I left off. Then I got this number 1 guard on, and I'm just going up under where I have the number 1 guard open, and I'm just going up under where I left off at that 1.5 closed. And then as I slowly move down on the fade, I'm gonna be closing my clipper. And every time I close my clipper, I move down on the fade. And I'm just doing this same process all the way around the head. So I'm just going with the, once again, I'm just going with the number 1 open, right up under where I left off with the 1.5. Then I'm gonna close the blade halfway, go halfway down that. I'm gonna close the blade all the way and go to the bottom of that line, and just, I know that it's not gonna take this line out, I know that, but it's gonna soften this line for me, so that when I come in with this when I come in later with the 1.5 guard, it's gonna be so much easier for me to take this line out, because you gotta soften it as much as you can with the number 1 guard. Same thing on this side. Just got the 1 open, and I'm gonna be going open halfway and closed, just pulling this fade together. And sometimes I go down with it just to soften it up a little more. Because when people when there's curly hair involved with anything, sometimes the best thing is not to go against the grain. Sometimes the best thing is to go with the grain.
No meat, just out.
Okay, y'all, so now I have my 0 guard, and rather than open halfway and close, with my 0 guard I just do a lot more detail work. Detail work means using the corner of your blades and and using the corner of your blades and lever playing. What I mean by using the corner of your blades is you're only using like the last 2 or 3 teeth of your blade just to pick out a spot, or even the last tooth of your blade just to pick out a spot. And when I say lever play, I mean you're going to be opening and closing your clipper to certain levels just to pick out certain hairs to get them to lay and cut the way that you need them to. Because it might, you know, in certain areas you might have to cut more or cut less than other areas. Because, like, for example, on the back is usually more dense. So usually you got to cut a little more of the back than you do on the sides. So with my 0 guard, once again, I look at it as an eraser, and I just do detail work with it. I don't really go open halfway and close necessarily. I just do detail work. So I I might do open halfway and close just to make sure that the hairs it's not gonna cut too much depending on the hair texture. And then after that, I just do detail work and just pinpoint spots and take them out. So right here, I'm just gonna be separating this hair so that I can have this line up crispy, and I'm not taking it too far back. Obviously this hair is overgrown, very overgrown, because he hasn't had a cut for like a month. So I'm not taking it back. I'm not cutting an inch back into his forehead. I'm just cutting the smallest, slightest little hair section, maybe like a quarter of an inch. And now to start the lineup, y'all know I like to plant in the middle. I like to work my way to one side. Once I get to the other side, once I get to the side, and the side meets the vertical bar, I tap the vertical bar in. Then I just rinse and repeat and do the same thing on the other side. So I start in the middle, I work my way to the side, and I tap in the vertical bar.
Like, look.
Yeah, I do like it.
One thing I forgot to mention, notice when I'm fading how much I'm brushing, and when I do lineups how much I comb the overhanging hairs down, or the hairs that would be hanging over. That's just gonna give you the best fade. It's gonna make sure that everything is one desired length. It's gonna show you, and then with the lineup, it's gonna allow you to solidify your lineup. If you haven't really watched my videos before, then what I mean by solidifying a lineup is, doing the lineup, getting it clean naturally, and then once you do it and go over it once, brush any hairs down that would be overhanging hairs, but you're gonna brush them down and cut them into the same line that you've already created, not pushing nothing back, just cutting anything that's hanging over the line that you've already created. And that's going to solidify your lineup, so no matter what way the client brushes his hair, whatever happens, his lineup is going to be solidified. So right here, I shaped it up a little bit. He didn't really want none off the top, so I just shaped the sides up into the shape of his head. Then I threw some curl enhancement in there, and now I'm just going to be using this sponge, just whipping that thing, getting it that nice sponge look.
No meat, just out.
YouTube, if y'all was able to sit through this 13-14 minute video with me, I appreciate y'all from the bottom of my heart, for real. I hope that you learned something, take something from my game, apply it to yours, advancing your career and in life. If y'all like this cut, y'all think this cut is fire, like and leave me a comment. Like I said, if you're not already subscribed, smash that subscribe button. Y'all, if you want to go the extra mile, repost me and add me, you know what I'm saying? Follow me on Instagram at Lake Fade, the same username for all platforms. And just, yeah, I appreciate y'all. I hope to see you back on the next video. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all see this fade smooth, the lineup popping. The lineup was popping before, but we threw some enhancements in there for my guy. He loved it. So yeah, thank y'all for tuning in. I appreciate y'all. May God bless.